Hi, my name is Emma, and today's presentation is about gay rights and the impression involving the LGBTQ community. Today, this presentation is geared towards the people in the LGBTQ community, anyone who wants to learn about the community, or anyone who is maybe curious about the community in general. It's also geared towards the ages of 18 through 28. And although I am a part of the community myself, that does not mean I represent the community as a whole. I am one person, and people can have different opinions and interpret historical events differently. The LGBTQ community has been fighting hatred for decades, and it has been thrown at them for years. And while the hatred is not as severe as it once was, a lot of the laws that were set in place to keep the community safe and are now being challenged and tested. There are new bills that are being proposed in states. This presentation will go over the history, any political happenings, any historical happenings, and organizations that I think are relevant to today's presentation. I will be explaining important parts of sources that I found, and the sources will include topics such as equal rights, youth LGBTQ statistics, political challenges, and history. The Path to Gay Rights, How Activism and Coming Out Change Public Opinion. The Path to Gay Rights not only discusses basic historical happenings relating to the LGBTQ community, it explains how activism played a huge role in creating the presence that the community has in today's time. The Path to Gay Rights discusses how the author sees the rise of the community. It is seen by the statement, the net result of an increase in number of LGBTQ people who came out and lived their lives openly. With an increased contact with gay people, public attitudes began to warm and change. The author goes beyond the story of LGBTQ rights to develop an evidence-based argument for how social movements can alter mass opinion on any topic. The second source that can help aid is The Power of Equality, Polarization and Collective Misrepresentation on Gay Rights in Congress, 1989 through 2019. This source thinks about the public and political opinion. It is even stated that the public support of LGBTQ people has increased dramatically over the last 3 decades. And in 2014, for example, only 31% of Americans supported same-sex marriage, and by 2014, a majority of the population did. However, despite these advances, LGBTQ rights still continue to face challenges. A source that collaborates the struggle is not just Florida. More than a dozen states propose so-called Don't Say Gay bills. This article states the bill being proposed that does not allow any word to be spoken about the LGBTQ community in schools. A teacher spoke out against this bill and stated in the article that teaching about sexual orientation and gender identity isn't part of the first grade curriculum, but talking about families is a part of our curriculum, and some of our students may have 2 moms or 2 dads. This is a picture of students protesting the Don't Say Gay bill in their state. Here you can see flags of pride, and you can see signs that say Proud to Say Gay. In Voices of People Like Me, LGBTQ Coping During Trump's Administration brings attention to how political figures of any standard can affect a member of the LGBTQ community, and the political figure is openly anti-LGBTQ. In fact, research suggests that anti-LGBTQ political administrations and policies negatively impact the psychological well-being of sexual and gender minority populations. While my focus relates to a younger audience of the LGBTQ, there are also struggles for other generations as well. Unequal rights between LGBTQ parents living in the U.S., the association of minority stress to relationship satisfaction and parental stress, creates a point of including important details, such as the most striking difference between heterosexual parent pairs and LGBTQ parent pairs is LGBTQ parents, particularly non-biological parents, often are not acknowledged or validated as parents by their families of origin, their communities, their medical doctors, their society, and many experience anti-LGBTQ aggressions relating to parenting from family members. Not only does homelessness affect the LGBTQ community youth, but so does rates of mental illness. In stigma and suicide risks among LGBTQ population are anxiety and depression to blame, and can connectiveness to the LGBTQ community help? Especially states that LGBTQ individuals are also at risk for depression and anxiety. As examples, LGBTQ individuals report depressive symptoms at rate 1.5 times higher than that of the general population, with 53.9% of transgender individuals and 33.4% of LGBT individuals reporting clinically significant levels of depressive symptoms. The Trevor Project is an amazing organization that works with the LGBTQ youth. They are an organization that works to prevent suicide and crisis in the LGBTQ youth. The whole Trevor Project started because LGBTQ young people are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide, and suicide remains the second leading cause of death among all people in the U.S. As seen in this graph right here, you can see that the darker states have ranging into the hundreds of thousands of youth contemplating suicide in the community, and as little as 3K, but is ranging up to 200 and 400,000. In conclusion, after gathering the background the LGBTQ community faced and what we're still facing today and the challenges we're still having to push through, like mental health issues and political issues, the community has had their fair of hard struggles and wish nothing more than to live as close to a normal life like everyone else. They want to grow up without the ridicule and hatred of others, and they want their children to do the same.